Northwestern women's coach Joe McEwen, great coach, better guy, maybe even better soundbite as well. Northwestern men's team enjoying a few moments of relaxation here at the Target Center. Nice setup in the hospitality room for the Wildcats. I hope the guys are able to knock down those jumpers, by the way. Here is the season outlook for Northwestern. Pete Nance is gone, as is Ryan Young, a couple of guys who were important transferring.
Next to the podium will be the
Kevin
head basketball coach at Northwestern University, Chris Collins, who's been there for 10 years already at Northwestern. Chris and his family and I have over a 40-year relationship all the ways back to my freshman year at the University of Pennsylvania, where his dad, Doug, was an instrumental player for the Sixers, but also instrumental in my life as a coach and mentor. Chris has been very actively involved in Coaches for Cancer, and under the leadership of Derek Gregg, who I've seen here today, I know Northwestern will be up on the swing. I'm looking forward to seeing them play this year. So welcome to the podium, the next head basketball coach at Northwestern University, Chris Collins.
Thank you, Commissioner Warren. Always exciting to kind of get started with the season with the media day today. I always hate following Coach McEwen. I tell him he's a tough act to follow. I've been having to do it my whole tenure at Northwestern. But like I said, just really excited to get started with the season. It's always good. It's a fresh start each year. Really looking forward to seeing what our group can become. We have 5 of our top 7 guys, scorers, back from last year, a number of veteran players, 3 guys here today, Boo Buie, Robbie Barron, and Chase Audige, that have been 3- and 4-year starters in our program, have played in a lot of games and have experienced some ups and downs along the way. And we're going to really lean on those guys, their experience, their leadership with our group as we build our team. And we feel like that we're going to have a chance to be very competitive this year, and certainly the league is going to be as good as ever. I know there'll be a lot of new faces to this league, but when you compete against the level of coaches and environments that you play in, night in and night out, you're going to be competing against the very best. So anxious to get started, a couple weeks away, and looking forward to seeing what our group can become.
Questions for Coach Collins? On your back right, Coach.
Coach Myron Metcalf, ESPN. Yeah. Between name, image, and likeness, yes, and obviously the transfer portal, what do you think will have the greatest long-term impact on the sport of college basketball?
Yeah, I think obviously our game has changed a lot in the last couple of years. I think the combination of those two things, the rules with transferring kind of changing, which has opened up more movement than we've ever seen before. Now with the players' ability to make money off their name, image, and likeness, which I fully support, but that has added a new dynamic, to our game. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves, and I think the teams and the programs that are going to be the most successful are going to be the ones that can adapt and learn how to manage what's going on in our sport. We'd all love to see the 4-year guy, the guy you come in and develop and watch him grow and mentor, and we're seeing less and less of that. You're seeing more transferring, you're seeing guys bop around a little bit more, and that's the reality. Every team up here, you probably have some guys they lost and some guys they gained, us included. And, it really makes the importance, for you to kind of understand your identity as a program, and kind of find your philosophy, what it's going to be. How can we be successful? How can we support our players? At the end of the day, the college model is still about the players. It's about these guys. It's about their development. It's about their ability now to go out and have their own brands and make some money off them, what they do out there on the court. And, I think it's going to be interesting. I think time will tell. I think it's still really new. We're in the first kind of year or two of this whole thing, and how will this evolve? Will it evolve into? And what will the next steps be, as we move forward?
Questions for Coach Collins? Oh, we got second row here.
Hi, Coach. Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated. I think last year at the end of the season, you spoke about kind of the continued upward trajectory you saw yourself on, 3 wins to 6 to 7 in the league. You won a conference tournament game. What are the factors this year with, new look front court that will determine whether you guys can continue that upward trajectory or not?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great, obviously we wanted that trajectory to be a little bit quicker, and last year, we were disappointed because we felt like, we had 11 losses by 5 points or less, during the year. And you win 5 or 6 of those, all of a sudden 15 wins is 20 or 21. And you are playing in the tournament, and that's kind of the margin for error. We are going to have a younger front court. I'm anxious to see what those guys can do. A lot of new faces that are going to get opportunity, and that's kind of what college basketball is about, really. There are a lot of teams in this league that have lost guys that have been mainstays, and then it's opportunity for other guys to step up. And certainly we're going to need those guys to do their part. But we're going to go as our perimeter goes. That's where the strength of our team lies. Boo Buie being a 4-year starter at point guard. It's his time now as a senior, and for us to be the team that we need to be, we need him to be an all-conference caliber, performer, which I think he can be. I think he's one of the leading returning scorers in the conference, and I think his growth over the last 4 years has been really good, and now it's time for him to put it all together and have a great senior year. And Robbie Barron and Chase Audige have been guys that have played a lot of games, and certainly have had their tough moments, but also have had some really good wins and have seen what it's like to win at this level. So, we're going to really go as those guys can lead us, and we're going to need our new front court guys to be able to come in and do the part, especially in the Big Ten. I mean, how physical this league is. What big guys you're going to face night in and night out, and we're going to need those guys. No one's going to really replace the things that Pete, Nance, or Ryan Young did, but can collectively, we come out and can they play to their strengths and give us the production that we need to be successful in the conference.
Third row on your left, Coach.
Chris, John Fanta from Fox Sports. We've heard a couple of coaches say this morning that it's really hard to sometimes figure out your league at this stage of the year because when you lose 70-80% of what you had and you've got all this new experience, though it may be, there's just a level of variance there. When you're looking around the league and getting ready for a season, how do you go about that? How do you identify what exactly a team is going to be like?
Yeah, I think really the last couple years we had a lot of continuity in our conference, and that's what made the league so good. We had a tremendous amount of older talent that kind of had their styles, and you knew what teams were going to do, and you knew who the best players were. And I think this year is going to kind of be a new kind of age of Big Ten basketball. I think a number of the all-conference players from last year have now moved on to the professional ranks. I think you're going to see a lot of emerging stars in this conference, which is going to be very exciting. I think you're going to see younger guys now who have opportunities, guys who've gotten better. I mean, you saw it in the past. I mean, who would have thought before this year, last year, that, the kind of year that Keegan Murray and Johnny Davis had, the growth that they had to become the superstars that they were. Those were just 2 examples. But I think you're going to see that, and I think the great unknown about a lot of these teams in this league is what's going to make it exciting. Kind of, are teams playing any differently? Are there new identities to some of these teams, and then who are going to be the new stars of this conference that are going to emerge? So I think to your point, I think this year is going to be a lot of intriguing storylines, and we feel like with a lot of guys being back, hopefully that can be an advantage for us. We have 4 returning starters. We have 5 of our top scorers back. So we feel like hopefully our experience and continuity maybe can be a little bit of an advantage for us, as we get started for the season.
Back to Myron on the right side.
Obviously, Coach K retires. What does the sport lose without a leader like that?
Yeah, I mean, the sport lose. I mean, Coach K to me was the epitome of college basketball. I was very fortunate in my life to play for him, but then to work under him for 13 years. So 17 years of my life, I got to be around him every day and witness his greatness. And, I think the thing more than anything was how much he loved the college game. It was always about, he wanted to win, he wanted to compete, but he always wanted the game to grow. He wanted the product to be better. Leaders like that, mentors like that, when you see them now leave the game, it's sad. It's surreal for me, as the season's beginning, not to turn on a game and not to see him out there, because I know his passion for it and how much he loved what he did. But it's definitely going to be, we're going to miss him. And, it's the responsibility of us now as coaches to kind of carry that mantle of, the guys before us that were such unbelievable representation of the college game, the way they did it, how they led young men. And, I think we hold that responsibility to keep it going.
Coach Collins, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys.